Here is emergency department.
If you ever wondered why the people of Afghanistan have lost faith in the reconstruction process, then take a look at the Khair Khana hospital in Kabul.
Suitable for patients. No water.
It is quite simply a medical nightmare. One of the first major aid projects in the country, it was meant to be a showpiece example of what the West could do for Afghanistan. $2.2 million of donor cash was given to build this facility, all from Italian taxpayers. But most of the money never reached the hospital. Instead, it filled the coffers of aid agencies along the way. The toilets don't flush, lethal wires hang from the walls, and the structure threatens to come down on the patient's head at any moment.
Everybody wants money. Everybody's at it. For each contract that comes in, a consultant and advisor comes with it. They all take their 10%.
This man knows what he's talking about. He has been handling major construction projects for foreign contractors since the US-led invasion 7 years ago.
These consultants are all young boys from America, from Germany, from abroad, but mainly from the US. They come here because they can get jobs easily as consultants, and they can make a lot of money.
A foreign contractor is paid on average between $1,000 and $2,000 a day. Everywhere you go in Kabul, there are examples of mismanagement by foreign construction firms. This is why hearts and minds are being lost in Afghanistan. Back in the hospital, winter is coming, and it's getting cold for the patients. Is it cold here in the winter?
Yes, very much.
How cold?
Maybe 0 Celsius. The patients themselves have to bring with them stoves and something for heating.
The hospital was built without a heating system, so in the sub-zero conditions of an Afghan winter, the patients are forced to bring in their own heating.
How they could do it and why they do it? Really, it's for me it's amazing, and I cannot convince myself why did they do it with Afghans.
The Afghan government has finally had enough. They are now openly accusing the United Nations of corruption.
There are a lot of people, they are involved in corruption within the UN and external aid agencies, and also local Afghan countrymen also. Nobody have thought about such a conspiracy and such a corruption within organizations like UNFPA and UNIPES and UN as a whole.
The Afghan government recently concluded an inquiry into the building of the hospital, and this is what they say happened. In 2003, the United Nations Office for Project Services, or UNOPS, was given $2.2 million to build the hospital. They then handed the job over to an Italian NGO, taking a $270,000 management fee in the process. That left just under $2 million for the new hospital. But then the Italian NGO, called Intersos, is alleged to have taken $1 million out of that budget in its admin fees before passing the project on to a local Afghan company. So that left just $900,000 in the kitty to build the hospital. Less than 20 minutes drive from the Khair Khana hospital is the UNOPS Kabul headquarters. Its new director, an Australian named Bruce McCarran, was keen to show me around his offices.
This is our customs and trade facilitation project. So we've got an office here.
Nice. They were built around the same time as the hospital, but it's like another world. There is no shoddy wiring or plumbing, and nobody has to bring a heater to work here. Bruce McCarran told me he'd never visited the hospital, despite the controversy surrounding it. He says the Afghan government have failed to maintain the hospital.
We've not seen anything that substantiates any problem with the hospital. What we would question, what we'd ask is, has there any maintenance been done on the facility in the last 5 years?
But the doctors and the Afghan government say it wasn't built properly in the first place.
Everything we do is funded from the projects we deliver. And so, of course, there's an administrative fee that's taken off the top of each project, but we do not work for profit. We work for client satisfaction.
UNOPS resolutely rejects any criticism of its management and says it simply took its admin fee and handed the contract on to the Italian NGO Intersos. I called Intersos to get their version of events.
I can tell you for sure that the contract we had with UNOPS was equal to $900,000.
So just to be clear, you're saying the contract you received from UNOPS was for $900,000?
Yes.
Not for 1.9 million?
No way, no.
So astonishingly, that leaves more than $1 million of the hospital's budget unaccounted for.
So money was lost during all these passages, not in the building of the hospital. It's a shame of the international community that such an hospital stands there. It's really a shame. I mean, it shouldn't be there and it shouldn't be like this.
But the very next day, Monica Matarazzo got back to me. She had made a mistake. They had spent the missing million, and she had a breakdown of costs to prove it. But the Afghan Attorney General's office has seen those costs and say they don't explain the missing money. He wants the individuals involved prosecuted.
Of course, it makes us Afghans much disappointed because the ordinary Afghans, they don't have good memories from the foreigners.
What happened to over $1 million of the hospital budget? Not to mention the $5 billion that the Afghan government says has gone missing since the West began rebuilding Afghanistan.
A big American firm was given a contract to build a school. The original budget was $260,000. They passed it on to an American NGO for I don't know how much. Then they passed it on to us for $130,000. And I think in the end we only spent around $70,000 on the school itself.
The aid is not getting through to the people who need it most. UNOPS is currently the subject of an internal UN investigation. The Italian NGO continues to work in Afghanistan, funded by European taxpayers.